noise. And I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. Why don't we go ahead and settle in for some meditation? After you've settled into a comfortable meditation posture, using whichever method you find most effective, please allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. And when you're ready, please go ahead and transition into meditation on the inner body. As you know, as you know, your heart chakra is located at the center of your chest. As you also know, your heart chakra is the seat of your capacity for unconditional loving kindness and compassion. So I'd like you to very gently bring your awareness to the region of your chest, perhaps to the center of your chest. Do this very gently, very, very gently. And while bringing your awareness to the center of your chest, I'd like you to please continue your practice of meditation on the inner body. In effect, please conjoin your meditation on the inner body with bringing your awareness to your infinite potential for loving kindness and compassion. Very gently, please allow your consciousness to become less absorbed as you begin to arise from meditation. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation and Dharma talk to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely and permanently free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings without exception be happy, peaceful, contented, and free. And may we as individual practitioners make the greatest contribution we can to world peace by applying ourselves to deepening our experience of loving kindness and compassion. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Back to having challenges with the camera. Oh, well. So, welcome back, everyone. Are you sitting down? We're going to begin our discussion of the perfection of concentration. I've been promising for a while that we were going to be doing it, and we're going to be transitioning into the perfection of concentration, and we'll do that this morning. And over the next few classes, we're going to get into some of the sort of more technical presentations or more formal presentation of the of different aspects of the perfection of concentration, also known as the perfection of mental stabilization. But before we get into that, for this morning's talk, I'd like to share with you a story or kind of an analogy / story that Alan Cooper shared with me recently. And this is a analogy that his teacher shared with him. And Alan's teacher said that we can think of meditation, of our meditation practice and the process of training the mind. We can think of it as almost being like 24 people involved in a game of tug of war challenge. Remember tug of war, you've got the rope and you've got people on either side, and you don't want to get drug into the mud pit or whatever's in the middle there, right? And Alan said that his teacher said that we can think of that sort of tug of war as being analogous to our meditation practice. You know, maybe we have a meditation practice that consists of doing formal sitting practice for an hour, right? But what about the other 23 hours, which are kind of pulling us toward maybe non-virtuous, or maybe mundane is a better way, maybe mundane states of mind? For an hour a day, we're occupying our mind with virtue and meaningful topics, objects of contemplation and experience. But what about the other 23 hours? that analogy is used to try and encourage us to meditate more, to apply more time to our meditation practice. The analogy can likewise be applied to what we do during the meditation break, sort of. There are states of mind that we make manifest, and mindfulness that we practice during the meditation session. And there's what we choose to focus on during the rest of our or during the rest of our day, during the so-called meditation break. We can sit down for formal practice and apply concentration, be focused, apply mindfulness to an object of virtue, an object of practice. What are we doing with our mind the other 23 hours? So do you see it's the difference between meditation for an hour versus not meditating for 23 hours? That's the analogy that Alan's teacher pointed to. What I'm suggesting is that we consider in the same way sort of our mindfulness practice, or what we choose to focus on, what we choose to occupy our minds with in a mindfulness sort of orientation. We might meditate in a focused way, in a concentrated way for an hour each day or so, maybe more, maybe less. What do we do with the other 23 hours? There's 8 hours, give or take, that is occupied by sleep, sleeping and dreaming, kind of necessarily not mindful practice. We sort of dream about whatever our mind wants to dream about. And unless we've accomplished what's called lucid dreaming, we're sort of at the mercy of wherever our mind takes us and whatever we focus on in the dream world. What about the other? Let me do the math here. So 8 hours sleeping, an hour of meditation, that's 9 hours. So there would be another, 15 hours, 15 waking hours where we're not meditating? What are we doing with that time in terms of being mindful and having a concentrated mind, if you will? Why am I talking about this, you may be wondering? Because here is one of the most important truths about meditation practice. What you do during the meditation break will drive the success you experience during the meditation session. Success during the meditation session is driven by what you do during the meditation break. Why? Because there's 1 hour of mindful, focused, concentrated meditation practice, and another 23 hours kind of on the other side of the tug of war rope, right? It's simply not reasonable for us to think that we can spend a lot of time in front of various screens, like having our attention drawn to whatever the engineers of those screens want our attention to be driven toward, advertisements, Facebook clicks, Facebook likes, skip the screens, right? What are you doing what do we do when we're walking around living our lives? Just like our awareness randomly being drawn to things that happened in the past, randomly being drawn to things that might happen in the future, just daydreaming, just kind of the random song of the day sometimes, just, it's just so much of it is just random, meaningless mental chatter and distraction. It's simply not reasonable to think that we can live a life like that for 23 hours and then sit down for an hour and have a perfectly focused mind of meditative equipoise. Just not going to happen. We're going to lose that tug of war. So this isn't the first time that I have talked about the benefits of mindfulness during the meditation break. And I guess to the extent that we have not been able to bring ourselves to apply effort to being more mindful during the meditation break, that necessarily means that we don't have an adequate appreciation for the benefits of being mindful during the meditation break, right? If we understand the benefits of something, we'll apply effort. And if we apply effort, we can accomplish anything, including successful meditation practice, in particular, training the mind in general, liberating ourselves and others from suffering in the process. That's the benefit or the benefits of applying effort to generating mindfulness during the meditation break. If we understand the benefits better, then we'll apply effort. To the extent that we are not applying effort, that necessarily means that we don't understand the benefits or don't appreciate the benefits. That's a better way of putting it. We might understand the benefits, but we might not appreciate them. So, what if I told you that one of the benefits of applying mindfulness during the meditation break is that you would be completely fearless? Sounds like a pretty good benefit. Like, just give yourself permission to imagine what it would be like to be completely fearless. This is a benefit that can come from applying effort to being mindful during the meditation break. And I'm going to enlist Norman Fisher to help us connect those dots, okay? This is from When You Greet Me, I Bow, Norman Fisher, venerable Zen teacher. So Norman Fisher writes, fear, convincing as it may seem, is actually a conceptual mistake. What is there to be afraid of anyway? Fear is always future-based. So amazing. Fear is always future-based. We fear what might happen later. The past is gone, so there's no point in being afraid of it. If past traumas cause fear in us, it's only because we fear that the traumatic event will reoccur. That's what trauma is, wounding caused by a past event that makes us chronically fearful about the future and thus queasy in the present. But the future doesn't exist now. In the present, the only moment in which we are ever alive. I'll read that line again. But the future doesn't exist now in the present, which is the only moment in which we are ever alive. So, though our fear may be visceral, it is based on a misconception that the future is somehow now. It's not. The present may be unpleasant, even dangerous, but it is never fearful. So, we're mindful during the meditation break. That means we're necessarily present in that we're present in the moment, present in the now. Through mindfulness, we can bring ourselves to be present in the moment, thus necessarily freeing ourselves from the delusion of fear, and in the process, setting ourselves up for success during the meditation session. So those are the benefits that we can hopefully come to appreciate and thus be able to bring ourselves to apply effort to being mindful during the meditation break which will enable us to be concentrated and focused with meditative equipoise during the meditation session. And thus our mind changes and our suffering decreases, those around us benefit. The benefits just go on and on. So listen, reminder, you guys, special time for Medicine Buddha meditation. That's tomorrow from 8 to 8:30 Mountain Time. And just another word. So Medicine Buddha meditation tomorrow is going to be 30 minutes instead of the usual 45 minutes. And I just have to say that I've been a little surprised that there hasn't been more kind of carryover from our Monday, Friday class to our Saturday morning meditation, Medicine Buddha meditation. I mean, maybe it's a timing thing, maybe it's a Saturday morning thing, maybe it's something else. But to the extent that it is based in the length of the meditation, like 45 minutes is too much, tomorrow's going to be 30 minutes. So maybe that's a time for you to give it a try. Medicine Buddha meditation is really mostly about compassion and healing. So to the extent that you're concerned, oh, Medicine Buddha, that sounds like bordering, maybe there's some dogma in there. There's not. It's about compassion and healing for the world. So 15 minutes shorter, if the length is kind of an obstacle for you, maybe tomorrow's your window of opportunity. Have a great weekend, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're most welcome.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.